At the center of IC 1101, the largest galaxy ever found, lies a black hole so enormous, so deeply buried in its golden haze of stars, that it remained almost invisible for decades. When astronomers finally measured it, they realized they were looking at one of the biggest black holes in the universe, a gravitational titan hundreds of times larger than anything our models predicted could exist. It's not just massive, it's hidden in a way no black hole of this size should ever be. Hello there, and welcome back to the Sleepy Astronomer. Tonight, we travel to the edge of the observable universe, into a realm where galaxies grow like cities of light, and black holes sleep behind curtains of ancient stars. If these calm journeys into darkness and wonder bring you peace, subscribing to the Sleepy Astronomer would mean the world. It helps this quiet corner of curiosity grow, so more dreamers can drift among the stars with us. Tonight, we uncover the secret heart of IC 1101, a monster black hole so large that even light struggles to describe its scale. A hidden engine powering the brightest cluster galaxy we've ever found, shaping the cosmos around it in ways we're only beginning to understand. So take a gentle breath and follow the faint glow of distant starlight into the shadows of a black hole almost too big to imagine. This is the Sleepy Astronomer. You float through a quiet corridor of the universe, where distance softens everything into a gentle hum. IC 1101 rises before you like an ancient memory, a shape too large for immediate comprehension, a presence that fills the darkness with muted gold. You feel as if you are entering a dream that began long before you were born, a dream the universe has been whispering for billions of years. Light around you stretches, thins, and cools as it travels across unimaginable distances. Each photon that touches you has survived a journey through expanding space, losing energy like a traveler shedding layers during a long walk. You sense the age of this light in your chest, as if its tired glow settles into your breathing. It moves slowly now, softened by the cosmic journey, and invites you to slow with it. You drift closer to the halo of IC 1101, a galaxy so vast that even your imagination hesitates. The edges blur into a faint golden mist, stretching more than 1,000,000 light-years across. Entire clusters of stars appear as smudges of fire, each one a sun with planets, storms, and histories you will never see. Yet nothing feels overwhelming. The scale calms you, reminding you how small you are, how little you must carry in this infinite expanse. Your body feels light, almost incorporeal, as though the space around you holds you in a quiet embrace. Time itself seems to loosen. Moments stop behaving like steps and become more like waves, rising and falling with a rhythm older than any human measure. The galaxy breathes not quickly, but with the slow exhalation of ages. You imagine each star as a heartbeat, each orbit a soft pulse in a body too enormous to fathom. As you move deeper into its glow, you sense the galaxy's age. IC 1101 is not young or restless. It is a giant shaped by mergers, collisions, and cosmic tides. Over billions of years, it has absorbed smaller galaxies, stretching itself wider and wider, weaving their stars into its luminous fabric. You picture these events not as violent crashes, but as slow, inevitable foldings, like waves meeting on a quiet shore. Even destruction feels gentle here. The light becomes denser as you travel inward, though still faint compared to the galaxies closer to home. This place is far from everything. It sits near the edge of the visible universe, where expansion outpaces familiarity, and where the cosmos grows thin with age. You feel the distance as a kind of peaceful isolation. Nothing rushes, nothing demands. Space simply exists, and you float within it. A sense of humility settles into you, not born from fear but from wonder. You realize how rare it is to perceive something this enormous, this distant. IC 1101 is not simply large. It stretches across imagination itself. Even astronomers who measure its size must pause, must breathe, must accept that some scales cannot be pictured, only felt. As you drift along its outer halo, you imagine the stars here as elders. Many are old, swollen, and fading, their fuel nearly spent. They shine with a warm, amber glow, like lanterns that have burned through countless nights. Their light feels comforting, steady, patient. You sense how their lifetimes contribute to the galaxy's grand presence, how their quiet persistence builds the soft haze around you. The more you study the galaxy, the more you feel its balance. It is neither chaotic nor still. It turns slowly, with the grace of something that has learned to exist without hurry. Dark matter forms the unseen skeleton beneath its shimmering light, holding the stars in a vast, invisible embrace. Though you cannot see it, you feel its structure, the way it guides motion with a silence deeper than anything you have known. Your thoughts drift to the heart of this giant, a region you have not yet seen. You sense it from afar, like a deep vibration passing through the galaxy's body. Something immense resides there, something that anchors the entire structure. Gravity bends gently toward it, shaping the orbits of stars you cannot count. This pull is subtle at your distance, but undeniable, like the faint scent of rain carried on a distant wind. You pause in your slow journey, letting the scale settle into you again. IC 1101 feels less like an object and more like a world unto itself. If the Milky Way is a city of stars, then this is a continent, a sprawling, ancient land filled with lights, shadows, and stories scattered across time. You whisper to yourself that even here, at this unimaginable size, the universe retains its softness. As you begin drifting inward once more, you feel something shift within you. The quiet awe deepens into curiosity. What lies at the center of such a colossal galaxy? What kind of presence exerts enough pull to shape something so vast? The thought forms slowly, like a ripple moving across a calm lake. You glide onward, letting the galaxy's golden haze guide you. With each passing moment, the inner regions call more strongly, inviting you to see what gravity has been guarding for billions of years. You do not rush. You move as the galaxy moves, patiently, rhythmically, like a breath drawn in the dark. Ahead, the light thickens, and the faint tug of the core grows more distinct. You can sense that you are approaching a boundary where understanding deepens, where the familiar rules of stars give way to something far more mysterious. You continue drifting inward, the light around you settling into a deeper shade of gold. The outer halo fades behind you, replaced by smoother darkness shaped by billions of orbits. You imagine the stars nearby as ancient lanterns, their glow worn soft by the passage of time. Their presence steadies you, easing your breath into the slow rhythm of the galaxy. The sense of something ahead grows clearer, not as a warning but as a quiet invitation. Gravity guides you gently, as if suggesting rather than pulling. In a place this large, movement feels less like travel and more like drifting through layered memory. The galaxy seems to carry you forward with its own calm intention. You imagine the center as a vast archive of cosmic history, a place where countless stars have lived, died, and contributed their remnants to a deeper presence. The light here feels older, thicker, touched by ages of creation and collapse. You sense that whatever lies ahead has grown from time itself, absorbing the echoes of all that has passed. As you glide closer, the rotation of the galaxy becomes noticeable, broad, graceful arcs traced by distant stars. Their steady motion settles into your awareness, reminding you that nothing here rushes. Everything moves with timeless patience. Then, faint but unmistakable, you feel the first true whisper of the core's gravity. It is soft, almost reassuring, yet impossibly deep. You understand that the center of IC 1101 is not simply a point, but an anchor holding this enormous structure together. This influence is quiet, consistent, ancient. You drift toward that growing pull, letting curiosity soften your path. In the calm gravity ahead, a new question forms, gently guiding your thoughts toward the journey waiting in the next chapter. You sense the path unfolding softly, inviting you to follow its deep and patient mystery forward. You move gently inward, letting the vast halo of IC 1101 expand around you like the soft unfurling of a golden veil. Out here, at the farthest edges, the light is thin and stretched, but as you drift deeper, the glow grows steadier, like entering the dim outer rooms of some ancient, sprawling temple. Stars glide past you in slow, deliberate motions. They do not rush. They do not fight their orbits. They simply drift, each one a patient ember in the galaxy's immense breath. The scale surrounds you fully now. You are no longer just observing a giant, you are inside one. IC 1101 feels like a world without walls, where distance is measured not in kilometers or miles but in the long, unhurried language of light years. Your mind tries to grasp the numbers, millions of light years across, trillions of stars, countless orbits, but the effort feels unnecessary. This place is made to be felt, not calculated. As you move forward, the galaxy's outer halo curves gently around you. The stars here are sparse, scattered like grains of gold drifting in a silent tide. Their light reaches you softly, each one a whisper from billions of years away. Many of these stars are ancient, older than the Earth, older than the Sun, older than almost everything familiar to you. Their glow carries the memory of a universe that was younger, denser, more vibrant. Yet nothing about their age feels heavy. Instead, their presence steadies you, like sitting with elders who speak slowly, without urgency. You feel yourself matching their pace. Your thoughts stretch out, softening, lengthening. Worries shrink under the immensity. Time, which once felt like a tight thread, becomes a wide river flowing around you in calm, patient currents. As you drift deeper, you begin to sense an invisible structure beneath the light, a vast, quiet skeleton holding the galaxy in place. Dark matter surrounds you like an unseen ocean. You cannot touch it or see it directly, yet its presence feels unmistakable. It shapes the motion of stars, curving their paths into elegant loops that stretch across hundreds of thousands of light years. It is not a forceful presence. It is a gentle, persistent one, guiding the galaxy with invisible hands. You imagine the dark matter as a soft, transparent web, a cosmic cradle holding the luminous parts of IC 1101. Without it, the galaxy would unravel, its stars drifting away into emptiness. But with it, everything remains steady, balanced, slow. You find comfort in that balance. Even the invisible has purpose here. You continue advancing toward the denser regions. The stars now appear closer together, forming delicate constellations unique to this distant realm. Some shine with cool, fading light. Others pulse with brighter, younger energy. Many are remnants of galaxies long ago absorbed by IC 1101. Their old homes are gone, swallowed by gravitational tides. Yet their stars remain, woven seamlessly into the vast golden glow. You imagine those ancient mergers. Not violent explosions, but slow cosmic embraces, the graceful merging of stellar systems over billions of years. Two galaxies approaching, their shapes distorting, their stars swirling, their dark matter halos overlapping like two breaths becoming one. What would take seconds in a human life takes eons here. The universe does not rush. It lets gravity work slowly, gently, inevitably. Your path curves along one of the galaxy's diffuse arms. The starlight here feels almost textured, like cosmic dust shimmering in a soft breeze. You picture yourself drifting through a sea of lanterns, each one suspended in the quietest air imaginable. There is no sound, no wind, no pressure, only light moving through endless dark. As you glide, the temperature around you feels metaphorically cool, though space itself offers no true warmth or chill. The coolness is emotional, a calm that spreads through you with each passing star. You realize how scale can loosen the knots inside a person. When you witness something this large, the mind gently lets go of its habits of tightness. Your pulse slows, your breath deepens. You feel as if you are learning to think at the pace of galaxies. Ahead, the inner halo begins to brighten. The faint gold deepens into a richer, more concentrated glow. You sense that the stars here are more numerous, layered like dunes of starlight drifting inward toward the galaxy's center. The density increases subtly, almost imperceptibly, like moving from a sparse, open field into a lightly wooded grove. You pause for a moment, not because anything stops you, but because the view deserves stillness. IC 1101 stretches in all directions, a colossal, soft, shimmering sea. You feel suspended inside an ocean of time, held gently, supported fully, unhurried by anything. You begin moving again, drifting toward the brighter regions where countless stars gather in long, curving arcs. Each star you pass feels like a small story. Many are giants nearing the end of their lives. Others burn steadily, stable and calm. Some cluster together in remnants of old galactic cores, tiny echoes of the galaxies that once merged to create this giant. You imagine their motions as the choreography of a vast, slow dance. Every star follows a path shaped by gravity's patience. There are no sudden turns, no frantic spirals, only long, gradual curves that take millions of years to trace. You cannot see the movement directly, but you sense it, like feeling the slow turning of the Earth without ever watching it spin. The deeper you go, the more the galaxy shifts around you. The light becomes smoother, more even, blending into a soft golden fog. You are entering the region where the galaxy's personality becomes clearer. Not chaotic, but spacious and old, shaped less by new star formation and more by the accumulated glow of countless ancient suns. You let yourself float, carried by the galaxy's gentle gravity. You picture IC 1101 as a colossal, luminous cloud, slowly churning through cosmic time. Its outer stars are like loose threads. Its inner regions are like woven cloth. And you, small as you are, drift through it as effortlessly as a leaf glides along a broad, quiet river. Your mind grows curious again. You realize you are approaching a place where the galaxy's light begins to thicken noticeably. The brightness is not harsh. It is warm, like sunlight filtered through dust. You feel the center calling, not loudly, but with a subtle, steady pull that tugs at your awareness. You know what lies ahead. Or at least, you know that something lies ahead, something immense, invisible, central. Something that shapes every orbit, every movement, every star in this gargantuan system. You breathe slowly, letting the scale ground you. The galaxy's center is still far away, buried beneath layers of stars and memory, but its gravity has begun to whisper. And as you glide deeper, you sense a growing question inside you, soft but persistent. What kind of presence could anchor a galaxy this large? You drift toward that question, carried gently forward by IC 1101's ancient light. The glow ahead deepens, guiding you inward, toward the hidden heart where gravity gathers into its quiet, powerful throne. You drift further inward, following the softened glow of IC 1101 stars. The light here has traveled unimaginably far, crossing billions of years before it reaches your eyes. Each photon carries a whisper of distant times, a memory of events that have long passed. You sense their patience, the slow, steady persistence that lets them survive the vast, expanding universe. Their glow is faint, diminished by distance, but somehow more profound, more intimate because of it. Most of the light that began this journey has never arrived. The universe has stretched, diluted, and diffused it across space. You imagine countless photons fading silently into the cold, invisible fabric of the cosmos. They leave no trace for anyone to see. Yet even the remnants that reach you are enough to convey the ancient rhythm of the galaxy. Each spark is a soft pulse, a gentle echo of light born long ago. You feel your breathing align with the tempo of these photons. Inhaling, exhaling, a slow rhythm matching the passage of time itself. Your thoughts soften, like water settling in a quiet pond. It is easy to imagine yourself becoming part of this flow, carried along by a river that has no beginning and no end. The faint glow becomes a guide, leading you through the galaxy's vast, hidden corridors. As you follow the light, you notice subtle differences in its color and intensity. Some stars appear slightly bluish, young and energetic even from billions of light years away. Others glow with a warm amber, older and fading, their fuel nearly spent. Each hue tells a story of age and temperature, of life cycles unfolding far from your reach. You feel the weight of these stories as a calm presence, an almost tactile sense of time etched into the very light you see. Your mind drifts, imagining the journey of a single photon. It begins in the core of a star, born from nuclear reactions that fuse hydrogen into helium. From there, it travels outward through the star's dense layers, bouncing, scattering, wandering for decades or centuries before finally escaping. Then it begins the true voyage across interstellar space, moving through vast emptiness, avoiding cosmic dust clouds and gravitational tugs, until at last, it touches your eyes. You sense the patience of this photon, a tiny traveler on a journey longer than most human lives can comprehend. You realize that every point of light carries its own history, a tale of motion and energy, of creation and transformation. In this way, IC 1101 is not just a collection of stars. It is a library of light, each photon a page in a story billions of years long. You feel honored to witness even a fragment of this archive, to let the faint glow reach into your awareness and remind you of the universe's quiet endurance. Some light arrives not in a straight line but after being bent, stretched, and delayed by gravity. Massive objects along its path tug subtly, shifting its course. Galaxies act as lenses, curving space itself so that photons take longer routes, arriving centuries after they might have otherwise. You imagine these deviations as gentle detours, a kind of cosmic wandering that softens the journey, giving you more time to savor the light's arrival. In the darkness between stars, you feel the universe's expansion pressing outward. Space itself stretches, subtly pulling the wavelengths of light toward redder, colder shades. What once burned blue and bright may now reach you as a dim amber, softened by the endless stretching of the cosmos. You sense the vast patience of the universe here, how even its relentless growth can transform light into something quieter, more meditative, more suitable for your gentle observation. As you float deeper, you notice that the faintest glimmers carry secrets of the galaxy's structure. Their distribution tells you about spiral arms, central bulges, and outer halos. Even without seeing each star individually, you begin to feel the shape of IC 1101. The light forms an intuitive map, a soft outline of mass and motion, revealing the galaxy's character through what you can perceive, rather than through measurement or calculation. You begin to understand form through sensation, structure through empathy. Your thoughts slow further, embracing the quiet rhythm of billions of years. Time feels elastic, stretching and folding as you move with the photon's gentle guidance. You realize that observing distant light is like touching history itself. Each moment you spend in its presence is both now and then, an intimate intersection of your awareness with events far beyond reach. You feel this convergence as a kind of meditation, a soft merging of human perception with cosmic scale. Some photons you see were born in stars that no longer exist. They are echoes of past lives, carrying traces of elements that have long since dispersed or transformed. You imagine these photons traveling across the universe, reaching you after their stars have already faded to dust. The light becomes a messenger, carrying fragments of existence that remind you of the galaxy's transient yet persistent beauty. Even in decay, there is continuity. The faint glow forms a gentle canopy above and around you. You float in its presence, sensing the patterns it implies. Clusters here, sparse gaps there, gentle gradients of brightness. They all tell you something about the slow, deliberate construction of IC 1101. Gravity, dark matter, and stellar evolution have collaborated for eons, and the resulting light now brushes against you, soft and intentional, like a lullaby for the patient mind. You imagine drifting among these photons, letting them guide you inward. The galaxy is enormous, yet there is intimacy in this connection. Even across billions of light years, the persistence of light creates a thread, a subtle bond linking you to distant suns. You feel this thread as a gentle tether, steadying you and inviting you to explore further, to witness the deeper layers that lie beyond the faint halo. And as you continue, the light begins to thicken, subtly, in the direction of the galaxy's heart. It is not blinding, not urgent, but denser, richer, more layered. You sense that something awaits here, a presence whose influence stretches outward, shaping the orbits of stars and the paths of photons. It is the core, the gravitational anchor, waiting quietly beneath the accumulated glow. You pause, letting the soft, faded light wash over you. You feel the patience of the universe, the weight of billions of years carried in every photon. Your mind settles into the gentle rhythm, aligning with the flow of time and energy that connects all these stars. You sense the inevitability of motion, the quiet, steady pull of something immense just ahead. A question rises slowly in your thoughts, not urgent but persistent. What lies at the center of IC 1101 that could command such vast order, guiding the galaxy's dance and shaping its light? You feel the gravity of curiosity, drawing you forward with the same subtle pull that governs the stars. The answer is close, hidden yet undeniable, waiting for you as you glide deeper into the heart of this golden, patient giant. You drift onward, letting the dim glow guide you like a river of memory, carrying you toward the unseen center. The photons brush against your awareness, each one a gentle messenger from the past, and you follow their quiet pull, knowing that the galaxy's secret, held at its heart, is almost within reach. A silent presence shaping every orbit and every story you have glimpsed. You drift closer, carried by the gentle pull that grows stronger with every passing light year. The glow thickens around you, the stars denser, moving in slower, wider arcs as if tracing the steps of a vast, invisible dance. Their motion is graceful, deliberate, and somehow intentional, choreographed by a force you cannot see but can feel, soft yet unyielding. The galaxy's outer halo has become a delicate haze behind you, and ahead lies a quiet, dense heart. Its presence immense, almost tangible, yet hidden beneath layers of golden starlight. Time itself feels different here. The further inward you move, the more moments stretch, bending around the invisible anchor at the galaxy's core. You sense your own thoughts slowing, aligning with the rhythm of stars that have traced the same curves for billions of years. There is no rush. There is no urgency. Only the slow, patient pull of gravity, gathering everything into its domain with quiet certainty. The stars here move like dancers tracing invisible paths. Their orbits intertwine in spirals, forming patterns too complex to predict yet too ordered to feel random. You watch as they glide past one another without collision, each motion guided by a force that balances them delicately, invisibly. The effect is hypnotic, a vast, slow ballet where each star knows its role, yet none appears conscious. You feel the calm perfection of this arrangement seep into your awareness. You imagine the invisible mass that holds these stars in place. It is not the light itself, nor any visible structure. It is something deeper, something that shapes motion with quiet authority. You cannot touch it, yet you sense its influence everywhere. It is the black hole at the galaxy's center, a presence so immense that it governs the orbits of billions, yet so silent that you can only feel it through the subtle tug on passing matter. Its gravity is the unseen hand that choreographs the dance you are witnessing. Even at a distance, the central pull is profound. You sense it not as a violent force, but as a calm, unyielding influence that draws stars inward, while allowing them to continue their elegant circuits. The galaxy has adapted to it, grown around it, shaped itself according to its quiet command. The inner bulge glows more brightly now, stars compressed into a tighter, warmer region, yet their motion remains smooth, deliberate, and balanced. You feel the immense patience of this structure, how time itself yields to the pull at the center. Your awareness begins to stretch. You notice that space itself feels subtly different here. Distances are slightly distorted, as if the fabric of reality bends in response to the mass gathered at the core. Light curves gently, paths that seemed straight earlier now arch toward the center. You realize that even perception is altered. You are floating in a place where the usual rules of measurement soften, where gravitational influence reshapes both matter and experience. It is as if the galaxy whispers to you that there is a different kind of order here, one that transcends speed, size, and scale. You let yourself be carried by this quiet, bending rhythm. Stars continue to orbit in concentric arcs, moving past one another without interruption, guided by a force that feels eternal. Some are giants nearing the ends of their lives, their light warm and soft. Others are smaller, steadier suns, glowing calmly in the dense crowd. Together, they form a luminous tapestry, weaving threads of gold, amber, and faint white into a single, coherent pattern that draws your gaze ever inward. Your mind drifts to the concept of time near such a massive presence. You imagine moments stretching, each second growing longer, the flow of events slowing as gravity gathers its influence. Near the core, a single orbit may take millions of years. And yet, this immense patience does not feel oppressive, it feels meditative. You breathe in harmony with it, letting your thoughts expand, becoming attuned to the rhythm of billions of years condensed into gentle motion. A soft curiosity arises. How can something so invisible wield such control? The answer is not in forceful action, but in persistence. Gravity, cumulative and patient, shapes every orbit, every trajectory, every subtle deviation of light and matter. It does not demand or strike. It waits, organizes, and gathers. You sense that this silent throne has existed longer than any star you have seen, older than the galaxies it has consumed and shaped, enduring as the universe itself expands around it. You drift closer still, noticing how the density of stars increases subtly. The glow becomes richer, warmer, like sunlight filtered through an ancient forest. Each point of light is both a marker and a messenger, telling you the story of how matter has fallen, settled, and adjusted over billions of years. You sense the interplay of history and gravity, of past and present, woven into the luminous arcs that swirl endlessly around the unseen center. Your body feels weightless, but your awareness is tethered by the invisible threads of gravity. You sense that even as you float freely, every motion you make is subtly influenced, drawn inward by something that cannot be seen, yet whose presence is undeniable. It is the calm insistence of the central mass, shaping not through chaos, but through quiet authority, gathering everything into its orbit like water drawn toward a still, deep pool. As you drift, you imagine the galaxy's core as a throne room of motion. The stars are courtiers, orbiting with grace and discipline, each aware only of the gentle pull that guides them. You are a guest here, floating quietly through corridors of golden light, observing the structure without disturbance. The dance continues without effort, a living testament to patience, time, and balance on a scale almost impossible to grasp. You notice that even faint clouds of gas are moving under this influence. Streams of hydrogen, diffuse and soft, trace elongated paths as they spiral inward. They, too, are participants in the slow choreography, feeding the central mass over eons, slowly losing themselves to the pull that guides them. You feel the rhythm in their movement, a delicate complement to the orbits of stars, as if the entire galaxy breathes with a single, steady pulse. There is a subtle warmth in the light here, though it is not heat in the usual sense. It is the feeling of accumulated presence, the soft glow of countless suns guided by a force that is both invisible and undeniable. You let yourself float in this calm, basking in the certainty that, despite the enormous size and scale, the motions are balanced, ordered, and serene. You feel a quiet awe at the patience of gravity, how it quietly shapes the fate of billions without force or friction. You drift ever closer, sensing the point where space, time, and motion converge into the hidden heart. The pull is gentle yet persistent, guiding your awareness towards something you cannot yet see. You realize that this presence, the black hole at the center, will define not only the inner galaxy but also the rhythm of its orbiting stars. It is the anchor, the silent organizer, the throne upon which the galaxy's dance is built. A soft curiosity takes hold. What does it mean for something to have such influence while remaining unseen? The black hole is immense, yet invisible. Its presence is known only by its effect on everything around it. You feel a connection to this quiet power, a reverence for the way it shapes the galaxy without sound, without motion, without effort. It is patience and authority intertwined. You pause for a moment, floating in the center's growing influence, letting your senses align with the slow, graceful spirals of stars. You feel the inevitable pull of what lies ahead. Not frightening, not urgent, only profound. Gravity stretches, bends, and shapes, quietly drawing every photon, every particle, every story toward the hidden core. The stars trace their arcs like whispers of time itself. And as you drift ever closer to the unseen center, you realize that the galaxy is not simply moving around a void. It revolves around a presence that is alive in its influence, ancient in its patience, and immense in its authority. You feel yourself drawn onward, your curiosity unfolding in tandem with the graceful, measured arcs of stars. You drift closer, carried by the gravitational whispers you have followed through the galaxy's core. The stars swirl around you in patient arcs, each motion a gentle confirmation of the unseen presence that rules this region. And now, as you reach the inner sanctum, the black hole's domain begins to reveal itself, not through sight, not through the stark emptiness you might imagine, but through the subtle density of space itself, a quiet weight that presses inward on your awareness. It is not threatening. It is immense. It is patient. And it is impossible to ignore. The center glows faintly, not with the light of stars, but with the scattered photons of matter spiraling toward the heart. You sense the motion before you see it fully. Gas clouds drawn in slow, luminous spirals, each particle following the curve dictated by an invisible hand. The pull here is absolute yet unhurried. Nothing rushes. Nothing collides violently. Instead, matter is guided steadily inward, as if obeying a choreography that has existed since time itself began to unfold. The black hole does not grab, it invites. It waits. You sense the enormity not in a sudden shock but in a slow, creeping realization. This is a creature whose mass exceeds tens of billions of suns. Your mind strains to grasp it, but numbers fail. Only feelings remain. The pull at the core, the patient arcs of stars, the steady compression of space near the center. You feel yourself in a place where human perception struggles to keep pace with reality. And yet, the calmness of the black hole transforms that tension into wonder. The darkness around the central mass is not empty. It is a concentrated presence, a dense fabric of influence that bends the very space and time near it. You imagine it like a deep pool of shadow, each ripple carrying gravitational energy, each wave influencing orbits far beyond what you can see. There is warmth here, not heat in the usual sense, but an energy that feels alive, structured, and potent. It is the gravity of patience, so absolute, so complete, that even emptiness seems weighted with meaning. You drift closer, letting your curiosity align with the arcs of orbiting stars. The inner halo glows softly with matter falling slowly into the black hole. The gas forms a luminous ring, known as the accretion disk, spinning gracefully. Friction and magnetism produce gentle radiation, a soft murmur of energy that feels like the heartbeat of the galaxy itself. You sense the black hole's feeding, not as a violent act, but as a slow absorption, patient, deliberate, inexorable. The energy released here illuminates the invisible, hinting at the processes that sustain its immense growth. Your thoughts slow, following the motion of particles spiraling inward. You imagine that each photon, each dust cloud, and each fragment of star contributes to the black hole's slow, patient expansion. Its growth is measured not in minutes or years, but in cosmic epochs, millions and billions of years folding into one continuous rhythm. You feel the enormity of time and space converging here, concentrated into a presence that is as old as it is immense. You notice how even distant stars are subtly influenced. Their orbits, previously predictable in gentle arcs, now twist slightly as the gravity of the black hole reaches outward. You can feel the pull, a soft tug at the edges of your perception. It is a reminder that the black hole's presence is not confined to a point, but radiates through the galaxy, shaping motion, bending paths, and orchestrating the choreography of millions of stars. You feel the quiet authority, absolute and patient. You imagine its formation, not born overnight, not created by sudden violence, but grown, perhaps through the slow accretion of matter over billions of years, perhaps by swallowing other black holes, remnants of galaxies long merged, perhaps by patiently drawing gas and dust into its ever-expanding embrace. It is a creature shaped by time itself, a monument to the steady, persistent forces that govern the cosmos. And now you float before it, witnessing the result of patience unbroken for eons. The event horizon, the invisible boundary beyond which nothing escapes, lies just ahead. You cannot see it, but you sense its presence as an absolute limit, a point of no return. Time, already stretching gently here, bends further near this boundary. Light is delayed, paths curve, and space itself seems to ripple under the weight of gravity. It is not frightening, it is majestic. You feel both awe and intimacy, a connection to something immense and utterly patient, waiting quietly at the center of everything. You observe matter spiraling in slow, glowing rings. The energy it emits is radiant, yet gentle, almost hypnotic. Jets may shoot outward in other black holes, but here the motion is calm, directed inward in steady spirals. You sense the elegance of physics at work, friction, magnetism, and gravity harmonizing to create this hypnotic rhythm. The black hole does not rush, does not struggle, does not demand. It is patient, structured, complete. Even the darkness around it feels dense and almost textured. You imagine invisible waves of gravity rolling outward, subtle enough to guide orbits without startling, yet persistent enough to shape billions of stars. It is a weight without mass in the human sense, a presence that defines the inner galaxy while remaining unseen. You feel it pressing gently at the edges of your awareness, shaping your perception of space and time. You reflect on the paradox. This immense object, grown beyond comprehension, remains silent. It does not roar. It does not announce its power. Yet the universe obeys its quiet authority, arranging matter, guiding light, and shaping the motion of stars. The absence of sound or force does not lessen its presence. If anything, it amplifies it. You feel awe not as fear, but as a gentle recognition of cosmic patience. You drift closer to the center, following arcs of luminous gas that trace invisible curves dictated by gravity. Their glow is soft, amber, golden, a gentle illumination that allows you to feel the black hole's influence without ever seeing it directly. You imagine that each particle carries a memory of its journey, a whisper of forces long acting, slowly pulling everything inward. You sense that nothing here is wasted. Even motion, even energy, even faint light has a purpose in the grand architecture of this immense creature. The black hole has grown over countless epochs, swallowing remnants of smaller galaxies, absorbing clouds of gas, and patiently collecting mass. You feel the enormity of this growth, not as an abstract number, but as a lived experience. Imagine billions of suns, drawn inexorably into one center, their histories folded into the dense heart of something that is patient, silent, and eternal. You feel small, yet connected, part of a cosmic story that transcends time and space. You sense that this is more than an object. It is a sculptor, a silent architect shaping the inner galaxy, orchestrating motions that will last long after you have drifted away. Stars trace their arcs not randomly, but in quiet obedience to a presence that has existed since long before IC 1101 took its current form. You feel the continuity of time, the persistence of influence, and the calm authority that comes from being immense, old, and patient. The glow of infalling matter pulses gently, a soft illumination of what is otherwise invisible. You sense the depth of energy, not harsh or violent, but contained, organized, almost warm in its structured intensity. It is the heartbeat of the black hole, subtle yet profound, revealing not chaos but careful order. You realize that darkness is not emptiness. Here, it is concentrated, structured, patient, a quiet sea in which light itself bends to the rhythm of gravity. And as you float, suspended in the interplay of light and shadow, you feel the magnitude of the question forming in your mind. How can something so silent grow to such unimaginable size? How can a presence that offers no sound, no resistance, no violence become a force that governs the motions of billions of stars, guides the paths of glowing gas, and shapes the flow of time itself? The answer is not in force, not in speed, not in conflict, but in patience. A cosmic patience stretching across eons, gathering everything into a single quiet center. You sense that the black hole's power is not measured in destruction, but in persistence. Its influence does not demand attention. It quietly shapes, orders, and grows. The galaxy dances, orbits, breathes around it, unaware in its daily motions of the invisible hand that has guided its evolution for billions of years. You feel reverence, not fear. You are in the presence of something patient, immense, and eternal. And as you drift a final measure closer, you notice how even the faintest stars in the inner halo respond, subtly bending, adjusting, finding equilibrium in the black hole's quiet gravity. The creature reveals itself not as a point of violence, but as a sculptor of space, a guide of light, a patient, silent master of an entire galaxy. You feel the enormity of what you are witnessing settling into your awareness, a gentle awe that leaves room for questions, wonder, and reflection. You drift gently closer to the heart of IC 1101, where the black hole's presence shapes every orbit, every path of light, every whisper of energy. The glow of the accretion disk appears before you, a soft, luminous ring of matter tracing the invisible hand of gravity. Its color shifts gradually, amber and gold fading into pale, almost ghostly blues. You sense the steady flow of energy, the slow, patient feeding of something immense, a presence that has grown over billions of years. The disk itself moves with a rhythm that is hypnotic. Particles spiral inward, not chaotically, but in paths guided by friction and magnetism. You feel the subtle interplay of forces as if listening to a cosmic lullaby. Gas clouds twist and ripple like liquid light, heated by the friction of their own motion, emitting gentle radiation that dances across space. It is not violent. It is deliberate, patient, inevitable. You imagine individual particles drifting inward, their journey spanning eons. Each proton, each atom, each photon follows the curve dictated by gravity and the magnetic fields threading through the disk. Collisions and friction heat them slowly, radiating energy that escapes as light and X-rays. You sense the immense patience of this process, how the black hole accumulates mass in whispers, never haste, yet inevitably growing. Growth here is measured in epochs, in billions of years, not in moments. Turbulence moves through the disk like a subtle wind, swirling matter into spirals that twist gracefully. Magnetic fields thread through the flowing gas, shaping its motion with invisible fingers. The combined effect is mesmerizing, a quiet dance of energy and matter, orchestrated by the invisible presence at the center. You feel your own breathing slow, attuned to the rhythm of the spiraling light, your mind tracing the slow, deliberate paths of matter as it succumbs to the pull of the immense core. You imagine watching a single cloud of gas as it drifts inward. It begins far from the center, drifting gently among the stars, nearly untouched. Over millions of years, it loses energy, pulled subtly by the gravitational anchor, its path curling tighter and tighter. Friction and magnetic forces heat it, light escaping to be observed across cosmic distances. And eventually, it joins the accretion disk, becoming part of the steady, patient flow toward the black hole itself. You feel the weight of time in this motion, each stage a meditation on persistence. Your mind lingers on the scale. Individual stars may live and die, galaxies collide and merge, yet the black hole's growth endures. It consumes quietly, with no hurry, accumulating mass like a patient sculptor gathering material for a monumental work. Its feeding is not a storm but a gentle current, an unbroken flow over billions of years. You sense that even as stars live out their lives and gas clouds disperse, the black hole quietly absorbs, shaping the future of the galaxy without fanfare or violence. The energy released by this feeding is subtle yet powerful. Photons radiate outward, carrying the heat of friction, the memory of motion, the story of matter in transit. X-rays, radio waves, and gentle bursts of light all whisper the physics at work, illuminating the invisible processes that govern the inner galaxy. You feel the connection between energy and growth, between motion and mass, as a soft, continuous pulse, a heartbeat of creation and absorption combined. You drift alongside streams of matter, following them as they spiral slowly inward. Some paths curve more tightly, tracing arcs that would take millions of years to complete. You imagine the patience required, the inevitability of these orbits, each particle inching closer to the event horizon, each step a quiet surrender to gravity. The black hole does not rush. It waits. Its power is expressed not in speed or chaos, but in persistence, in the slow gathering of everything offered to it. You notice the inner edge of the accretion disk glowing more intensely, a subtle amber brightness marking the last few orbits before matter disappears beyond the event horizon. Here, energy is at its peak, yet even this brilliance is calm, ordered, almost serene. You feel the harmony in the chaos, the balance of forces that allows matter to emit light even as it approaches oblivion. It is not destructive in a frantic sense. It is transformative, a gentle unfolding of physics made visible in radiant arcs of energy. Some of the gas escapes, propelled by radiation pressure and magnetic fields into gentle jets or winds. Yet much continues inward, obeying the gravitational pull with patient inevitability. You sense the scale of this movement, how even minor particles contribute to the black hole's slow, unstoppable growth. Everything has a role, every atom a purpose in the quiet architecture of accumulation. You feel a connection to the process, as though you are part of the patient unfolding of energy and mass in motion. You let yourself float here, entrained by the rhythm of matter and gravity. Time stretches in your perception, blending billions of years into a single, contemplative present. You feel the ancient patience of the universe, how forces unobserved by human eyes shape structures beyond comprehension. The black hole grows, the accretion disk spins, and stars dance, all in a slow, deliberate chorus of energy, motion, and transformation. You consider the long view. This black hole has eaten countless stars, absorbed streams of gas, swallowed remnants of smaller galaxies. Its growth is cumulative, measured not in moments but in the steady accumulation of epochs. Each feeding episode leaves traces in radiation, subtle movements in orbits, soft whispers of energy that travel across light years. You feel the weight of this continuity, the sense that even the smallest motion contributes to a story billions of years in the making. You drift closer to the luminous spirals of matter, noticing how each layer of the disk carries a history. Outer regions are cooler, older, slower, while inner layers glow brightly, heated by friction and motion. The colors shift subtly, tracing temperature, density, and speed. You feel the structure as a living thing, a breathing ring of light and energy circling the unseen center. Each spiral is a note in a symphony, a gentle vibration of the forces that govern existence at the galaxy's heart. Your thoughts wander to the ultimate fate of this feeding. Over trillions of years, the galaxy will exhaust its resources. Gas clouds will thin, stars will fade, and matter will drift outward or be captured elsewhere. You sense that the black hole's appetite, though immense, is patient. It will grow steadily, quietly, absorbing what the galaxy offers, indifferent to hurry, indifferent to end. Its growth is measured not in consumption but in the slow, deliberate unfolding of cosmic time. You float in the luminous spirals, feeling yourself part of this gentle, immense process. The black hole's presence is constant, unyielding, yet calm. It absorbs without haste, grows without urgency, and persists without drama. You sense the quiet majesty of patience on a scale almost impossible to imagine, the elegance of physics in motion, the intimacy of being present in the orbit of something timeless. And as you drift among the spirals, you notice the interplay of light and shadow, of motion and stillness. The energy emitted by the accretion disk illuminates faint structures, traces patterns in the surrounding space, and hints at the invisible choreography of forces at work. You feel your thoughts synchronizing with the rhythm, your breathing aligning with the patient spirals of matter that feed this cosmic giant. Every moment becomes an echo of the vast epochs that have shaped the black hole's existence. You sense that feeding is not merely consumption. It is creation, transformation, and persistence combined. Each atom drawn inward contributes to the black hole's mass, shaping the future motions of the galaxy, influencing the paths of stars, and generating energy that will ripple outward. You feel reverence, a gentle awe at the interplay of patience, gravity, and time. The black hole is not merely a destructive force. It is a sculptor, a slow, careful artist shaping the inner galaxy across epochs. You imagine yourself drifting still closer, riding the spirals of luminous gas, tracing paths that will one day vanish beyond the event horizon. The energy, light, and motion all whisper physics into your mind. Each rotation a meditation on the persistence of forces and the quiet patience of the cosmos. You feel the slow accumulation of billions of years as a soft weight, a gentle presence that shapes your awareness as much as the galaxy itself. And as you float among the arcs of glowing matter, a question lingers gently in your mind. What happens when the galaxy can no longer offer anything to feed this immense, patient presence? You sense the inevitability of decline, the gradual exhaustion of resources, and yet the black hole's presence remains, unhurried, persistent, eternal in its silent consumption. The thought stretches with you, bending time into reflection, inviting your curiosity to drift toward the next wonder the galaxy has yet to reveal. You drift slowly outward from the luminous core of IC 1101, carried by the gentle currents of gravity that flow through the galaxy. The inner brilliance fades gradually, replaced by the soft, muted light of stars that have grown old, their energy waning after billions of years. Here, the galaxy's heartbeat is quieter, its rhythm slowed, as if the cosmos itself were exhaling a long, reflective breath. You feel the weight of ages pressing softly, like a warm blanket of cosmic memory surrounding you. The stars you encounter here have lived full lives. Many have burned through their hydrogen, expanding into red giants, shedding layers into the surrounding space like leaves in a gentle autumn wind. Their once bright flames now dim to faint glows, cooling and fading into white dwarfs. You sense the life they carried, the energy they radiated, and the history encoded in each photon still drifting outward, stretching through the universe. The light feels soft on your skin, a quiet echo of brilliance now slowed and diffused by distance. Among the remnants, you notice neutron stars, tiny yet astonishingly dense, the compacted hearts of long-dead giants. They spin with subtle motion, sometimes emitting pulses of energy like faint whispers of a heartbeat, reminding you that life can persist in unexpected forms even after transformation. You sense the extraordinary density of these objects, the strength of forces compressed into minuscule volumes, and feel awe at the elegance with which the universe recycles its materials. Even in death, stars contribute to the ongoing dance of the galaxy. You float among clouds of gas and dust, remnants of supernovae that once illuminated these regions. Their light has long since dispersed, but the structure remains, tracing patterns in the emptiness, like fossils of motion frozen in space. You imagine the explosions billions of years ago, the final breath of massive stars releasing elements forged in their cores. These materials will seed future stars, planets, and even life, long after the original giants have faded into silence. The galaxy breathes in cycles, endlessly transforming itself through birth, death, and renewal. The presence of the central black hole continues to shape the galaxy, even here in these older regions. Its gravity stretches across vast distances, subtly influencing the paths of dying stars, the trajectories of gas clouds, and the motions of remnants. You feel its quiet reach, patient and unhurried, sculpting the structure of the galaxy over eons. It is not a destroyer in the way one might fear. It is an organizer, a steady force guiding matter in its slow, inevitable flow toward equilibrium. You drift past a faint cluster of white dwarfs, their light weak yet persistent. You imagine each one as a memory, a star that once blazed with intensity, now cooling, fading, yet contributing silently to the galaxy's ongoing story. They remind you that endings are not abrupt but gradual, a transformation of energy and matter that continues to ripple outward. You sense a gentle continuity here, a whisper of cosmic patience that mirrors the black hole's own quiet authority. Neutron stars spin slowly as you pass, their gravity concentrated into astonishingly small volumes. You feel the subtle distortions of space around them, the bending of light, and the hint of their magnetic fields reaching outward. You are aware of the delicate balance that keeps these remnants in orbit, preventing collisions or chaos. Even here, in what might seem a graveyard, order persists. You sense the precision of physics, the patient shaping of matter into stable structures over billions of years. Occasionally, you notice faint clouds of matter drifting in from the outskirts, remnants of stars that have finally given themselves over to the galaxy's slow tides. These wisps trace elongated arcs as they are drawn inward, some destined to nourish the central black hole, others to become part of new star formation in regions yet to awaken. You feel the elegance of these movements, the recycling of energy, the quiet promise that nothing is ever truly lost. Even endings carry the seeds of creation. The galaxy itself seems older here, its structure softened by the passage of time. Spiral arms fade into wisps, the bright clusters of young stars are fewer, and the glow of active star formation is distant and faint. You sense that the galaxy has matured, reaching a stage where the balance of life and death dominates. It is no longer a chaotic, growing system, but a contemplative one, carrying the quiet history of billions of stars in its light and shadow. You float through this subtle tapestry, letting the rhythm of the galaxy's age seep into your awareness. You imagine the stories each star could tell, the energy it radiated, the planets it might have nurtured, the elements it forged in its core. These stories are encoded in photons drifting through space, in the chemical fingerprints left behind in clouds of dust and gas. You feel as though you are reading a gentle narrative written in light, a meditation on existence, persistence, and transformation across unimaginable scales. Every particle has a tale, and every tale contributes to the galaxy's memory. Even as the galaxy ages, the black hole at its center continues its quiet consumption. You feel the distant pull, a patient tug on stars, gas, and remnants, shaping their motions over vast distances. Its presence is subtle, yet undeniable, a reminder that even the oldest regions of the galaxy are connected to the invisible heart at the core. You sense the balance between decay and preservation, between endings and the slow accumulation of mass, and the harmony of forces that allow the galaxy to endure. You drift past supernova remnants, faint shells of light expanding into space. Their energy is dissipating, yet you can still sense the heat of creation that once radiated outward, shaping surrounding clouds and triggering new cycles of star formation. You imagine the shockwaves gently nudging gas, carving paths, and igniting future generations of stars. Death here is not a termination but a whisper of renewal, a gentle nudge that keeps the galaxy alive in quiet ways. You feel a profound calm as you float among these cosmic echoes. Some regions appear nearly empty, the stars long since extinguished, leaving only the faintest traces of light. Yet even here you sense order, the invisible influence of gravity and the residual structure of the galaxy's formation. It is a cemetery of stars, yes, but also a library of energy, motion, and history. You feel the patient continuity, the elegant unfolding of processes that extend far beyond human perception, carrying forward the legacy of countless suns. You notice occasional interactions between remnants, white dwarfs pulling gently on passing gas, neutron stars influencing each other's paths, faint collisions sending ripples of energy outward. Even in this quiet, aged region, matter continues to move, interact, and transform. You sense the universe's relentless commitment to change, its patient artistry, shaping existence on scales both vast and subtle. The black hole remains the anchor, the silent throne around which all of this flows. And as you drift, you consider the gentle question that arises. What role does the central black hole play in these endings? It does not destroy indiscriminately, but its presence organizes, influences, and gently absorbs. You sense its reach, its quiet shaping of the galaxy's destiny, as matter slowly drifts inward, some to feed the black hole, some to participate in future cycles. It is a force of order, persistence, and balance, deeply intertwined with the life and death of the stars you observe. The galaxy feels like a great, quiet archive. Each star, each remnant, each cloud of gas is a record, a memory, a note in the long story of existence. You drift among them, floating in a serene space where time stretches, space softens, and the motions of matter trace a gentle, patient choreography. You feel connected to the immense history encoded in every orbit, every faint pulse of light, and every spiral of dust drifting slowly into the black hole's domain. And as you continue your drift, you realize that endings are not simply final. They are part of a broader rhythm, a cosmic breathing that has persisted for billions of years. You feel the galaxy's age settle around you, a comforting, expansive presence, and recognize that even in its quiet, aged regions, life and energy continue to ripple outward in subtle, unending cycles. You float again near the heart of IC 1101, where the black hole dominates the motion of stars and clouds of gas. Its presence is undeniable, a silent, immense force that shapes the galaxy with gentle authority. Yet as you drift here, you begin to wonder, how did it grow so large? The thought is not frightening, it is mesmerizing. You feel curiosity swirl like a soft current around your mind, drawing you gently toward understanding. How can something so quiet, so patient, reach a scale that stretches even the imagination of astronomers? You consider the first idea: mergers, small black holes, the remnants of previous stars or smaller galaxies, gradually coalescing over billions of years. You picture two black holes, each invisible, spiraling around one another in a delicate dance until they merge in a quiet, final embrace. You feel the immense power released in the collision, the ripples of spacetime propagating outward like concentric waves across a cosmic pond. Each merger adds weight, slowly building the massive heart you now observe. You sense the elegance of accumulation, the patience of forces folding together over time. Yet one merger alone is not enough. You imagine a series of galactic collisions, each a patient, slow-motion ballet. Galaxies drift closer, drawn by gravity, until their stars mingle and clouds of gas intertwine. Black holes meet, orbit, and eventually merge, adding mass in leaps, punctuating the steady accumulation with sudden growth. You feel the rhythm of these events, the pulse of time extended over eons, each addition subtle yet profound. Growth here is a combination of quiet absorption and episodic leaps, a dance between persistence and sudden change. Another pathway drifts into your mind: the consumption of quasars. You picture quasars as blazing lighthouses at the centers of distant galaxies, their immense energy radiating outward across billions of light years. Over time, the black hole may have absorbed these luminous engines, drawing in matter that once burned with incredible brilliance. You imagine the gentle spirals of infalling gas, the subtle bending of light, the slow, patient feeding that gradually increased its mass. Even the brightest beacons are no match for this quiet, enduring presence. You feel the hum of energy, a soft resonance that echoes across time and space. You consider the combination of these pathways. None alone can explain the immensity you observe, but together, they form a portrait of growth that is patient, episodic, and inexorable. You imagine the galaxy itself as a slow conveyor belt, feeding matter into the black hole's maw, punctuated by rare, sudden events like mergers or collisions. The result is not chaos, but a carefully orchestrated expansion, a crescendo of mass accumulating over billions of years. You sense the elegance of natural laws at work, persistent, deliberate, and unstoppable. Your thoughts turn to scale. 10 billion suns, 20 billion suns. More numbers become shapes, patterns, and feelings rather than simple quantities. You imagine stacking suns like tiny beads, reaching outward, only to realize the enormity cannot be captured by human hands or imagination. The black hole's size is almost incomprehensible, yet it remains patient, silent, and calm. You feel the juxtaposition, vastness and quietness existing together, a paradox that humbles your mind and slows your breathing. You drift alongside the outer halo of the galaxy, watching older stars orbit in gentle arcs. Their paths are subtly influenced by the black hole's gravity, responding to a presence far beyond their scale. You sense how each star's trajectory carries a whisper of the black hole's past, evidence of mergers, accretion, and long-term feeding. Its history is encoded in motion, a soft, continuous record written in the language of gravity and time. You feel the galaxy itself narrating the story of the black hole's patient accumulation. The environment here is serene, yet it holds traces of past violence. You imagine collisions of stellar clusters, bursts of radiation from infalling matter, and the slow disintegration of smaller black holes into the central mass. Each event contributes to growth, subtle and relentless, like drops of water slowly carving a canyon. You feel the paradox of creation through absorption, of power achieved through quiet patience rather than visible destruction. The black hole's growth is measured not by spectacle, but by the invisible accumulation of epochs. You drift deeper into contemplation, tracing the energy flows of the galaxy. Gas clouds, sometimes disturbed by distant interactions, spiral inward, feeding the heart with patient consistency. Even faint streams of matter from the galaxy's outskirts contribute to this slow, inexorable expansion. You imagine these wisps of gas as threads in a tapestry, each feeding into the black hole's vast center. The energy released in friction and magnetism is gentle yet persistent, illuminating the surrounding space like a soft glow in the quiet night. You notice the balance between activity and calm. Infalling matter heats, radiates, and illuminates the inner halo, yet the process is measured and rhythmic, not chaotic. You sense how growth over billions of years requires patience, how the accumulation of mass must be balanced with the dispersal of energy. You feel the elegance of these natural checks, the subtle dance that allows the black hole to expand without disrupting the galaxy entirely. It is a system in equilibrium, serene yet powerful, immense yet contained. The galaxy itself tells you more. Stellar remnants, faint gas clouds, and older star clusters all trace paths influenced by the black hole. You feel the subtle shaping of the galaxy's structure, the gentle tug on arms and clusters, the invisible hand guiding motion over billions of years. Each influence is slight, yet cumulative, and you sense the immense patience required to transform the galaxy without destroying its harmony. Growth is not sudden. It is the quiet product of countless interactions, measured in eons rather than years. You pause to imagine the black hole's interior, not in fear or anxiety, but in awe. The event horizon marks a boundary where gravity reigns supreme, where light bends and time slows. You sense that nothing inside escapes, yet outside, everything is connected. The feeding you witness, the accretion of matter, the occasional bursts of radiation, the mergers with smaller black holes. These processes are all part of a continuum. You feel the gentle certainty of physics, the reliability of natural law, and the profound patience that has allowed this black hole to grow beyond imagination. Your mind drifts to the question that hums softly in your awareness. Is there a limit? Could such a black hole grow forever, consuming matter as it drifts through time? Or is there a boundary, imposed by the galaxy's resources, the flow of matter, or the laws of physics themselves? You feel the tension of the question, not urgent, but contemplative, a soft hum of curiosity stretching across your consciousness. The universe itself seems to pause, inviting reflection on scale, patience, and inevitability. You drift back through the luminous spirals, feeling the rhythm of mass feeding into the black hole. The energy radiates outward, illuminating the galaxy's core and tracing patterns in space that hint at the invisible processes at work. You sense the interplay of accumulation, collision, and transformation, the patient artistry of physics shaping an immense, silent presence. Each photon, each dust cloud, each orbiting star contributes to this slow, inexorable story of growth. And as you float among the quiet spirals, your awareness stretches outward, tracing the galaxy's structure, the halo of stars, and the delicate arcs of gas. You feel the patience of time, the gentle insistence of gravity, and the rhythm of matter moving toward the silent center. The black hole has grown through billions of years of quiet absorption, episodic mergers, and subtle orchestration of the galaxy's contents. You sense the enormity, the inevitability, and the calm majesty of this immense, persistent presence. You drift closer to the black hole, moving with the quiet flow of space itself. Around you, the stars blur slightly, as if space is bending, stretching in response to the immense gravity at the center of IC 1101. You feel yourself pulled, not in panic, but in gentle inevitability, like water drawn toward a slow-moving whirlpool. Time itself begins to change, stretching and elongating in a way that your mind can almost sense, if only you relax enough to feel the rhythm of space-time. The event horizon looms ahead, a boundary invisible yet profoundly present. You do not fear it. You sense it as a calm threshold, the edge where ordinary rules bend and stretch. Light curves differently here, paths you once thought straight now tracing soft arcs, delicate bends that ripple outward in slow, hypnotic waves. You feel the curvature of reality around you, and your heartbeat slows in response, aligning with the quiet ebb of gravity itself. You imagine what it would be like to hover precisely at this edge. Time dilates. Moments stretch like molten honey, elongating until the flow of events feels both immediate and eternal. You notice the faint light of the inner accretion disk bending around you, spiraling gently, tracing graceful arcs that defy the normal expectations of motion. It is beautiful in its strangeness, a serene ballet of physics in its purest, most elegant form. You feel the rhythm in your body, in your breathing, as though the black hole's calm has extended to you. Every particle of matter and every photon of light carries a story here, a whisper of the immense forces at play. You sense the balance of attraction and motion, the delicate interplay that allows stars and gas to orbit safely, yet slowly inch inward. Gravity is both artist and conductor, shaping the dance of the galaxy with patience that spans billions of years. You feel the gentle insistence of this cosmic choreography, a slow, rhythmic motion that is almost meditative. Space seems to ripple, bending around the invisible center. You notice how distant stars shift in position, their light arriving along curved paths, painting patterns you can sense more than see. Your mind slows further, syncing with the tempo of this edge, a quiet music of stretching time and warped space. You understand, in a visceral way, that physics here is both subtle and extreme, governing the flow of reality with elegance and inevitability. The cosmos is calm, even in the presence of unimaginable power. You consider the notion of falling, not in fear, not in alarm, but as a gentle surrender to forces beyond ordinary perception. Each step closer to the event horizon feels like sliding into a soft, elastic current, space itself bending to guide your motion. You sense that motion and time are inseparable here, that every movement stretches moments into eternity. There is no violence, no abrupt end, only the patient, slow embrace of gravity, a presence both vast and intimate. The closer you approach, the more time seems to stretch. Seconds become minutes, minutes become hours, all while your mind drifts in harmony with the quiet expansion of moments. You notice how light from distant stars bends, arriving from paths you cannot trace, as if the universe is revealing a secret pattern that exists only here, at the edge of perception. You feel a soft awe, a meditative reverence for the elegant complexity of space-time and the invisible architecture that holds it together. You imagine a photon emitted from the inner edge of the accretion disk. It travels outward, tracing a curved path, bending around the black hole, carrying with it the story of energy, friction, and motion. You sense the photon's journey as more than light. It is a message from the heart of gravity itself, a quiet whisper stretching across space and time. You float among these whispers, letting the subtle hum of cosmic history seep into your awareness. Each ripple of light is both a memory and a guide, connecting you to forces far beyond your ordinary experience. Even the notion of motion is transformed here. Paths you might expect to be straight are gentle curves, and curves become spirals, spirals become arcs that fold back upon themselves. You feel the beauty in this transformation, the poetry in the invisible bending of reality. Gravity is not chaotic. It is a calm sculptor, shaping the world around it with invisible hands, moving stars, gas, and dust in a rhythm both subtle and powerful. You sense that everything in this region is connected, from the smallest particle to the immense core itself. You let yourself drift closer to the boundary, marveling at the way space seems to ripple outward. There is a soft stretching of reality, an almost tactile sensation of time dilating, of moments lingering longer than usual. Your mind absorbs this feeling, sensing that the universe's rules can be gentle, meditative, even poetic when experienced slowly and attentively. The event horizon is not frightening. It is a calm edge, a place where perception itself becomes fluid, a threshold to something vast and intimate at once. You sense the gravity's quiet guidance, the subtle way it organizes matter and energy, shaping paths across billions of years. Even light follows these patterns, bending and spiraling, carrying stories of friction, collision, and motion. You feel your awareness expanding, merging with the rhythm of the cosmos, understanding in a soft, intuitive way that everything here is connected by the patient, pervasive hand of gravity. The black hole is not merely consuming. It is structuring, shaping, and orchestrating the motion of everything around it. Time stretches further, and you notice how the familiar distinctions between near and far, fast and slow, begin to soften. You are aware that the closer you drift to the event horizon, the more ordinary measures lose their meaning. Here, at the edge of imagination, you sense that the universe is vast beyond comprehension, yet intimately knowable through observation, attention, and wonder. You feel the weight and scale of the black hole not as fear, but as profound curiosity and meditative presence. You imagine particles on the edge, suspended between falling inward and orbiting endlessly. Some are drawn inexorably toward the event horizon, others caught in delicate spirals, dancing around invisible lines of force. You feel the beauty in these paths, the quiet persistence of motion guided by gravity, friction, and magnetic fields. The universe is patient here, not rushing, but allowing each particle to trace its path over timescales far beyond ordinary experience. You float among these motions, absorbing the quiet majesty of organized cosmic energy. And as you hover near the edge, sensing the warping of space, the stretching of time, and the gentle ripple of light, a thought arises softly in your mind. Beyond perception, what lies inside? Beyond the boundary where time slows, where light bends and paths curve endlessly, is there a deeper calm, a quieter presence, or simply the continuation of patience in ways you cannot imagine? The question lingers, gentle and meditative, pulling your awareness toward reflection and wonder. You drift gently into the inner regions of IC 1101, where matter circles the immense black hole in a slow, hypnotic dance. Gas and dust, drawn by gravity, spiral inward along invisible pathways, tracing curves that stretch and twist under the immense pull. You feel the rhythm of this flow as something almost alive, an elegant motion that has persisted for billions of years. Here, energy is released quietly yet persistently, a gentle hum beneath the surface of cosmic stillness. As matter accelerates toward the event horizon, it heats and glows. The accretion disk forms a luminous ring, soft yet intense, radiating X-rays that stretch through space. You imagine these photons as tiny messengers, each carrying the story of friction, magnetism, and motion. The light is not blinding. It is a warm, rhythmic pulse, a gentle shimmer against the black backdrop of the galaxy. You sense the paradox of energy and stillness coexisting, the heat of matter's final journey and the calm patience of gravity holding it all together. Jets of energy occasionally burst outward, narrow streams that pierce the surrounding medium. They carry matter and magnetic fields far from the black hole's grasp, tracing arcs across the galaxy's heart. You float near these jets, feeling their presence like a soft wind brushing past. There is no chaos here, only measured release. The universe balances extremes with subtlety. Violent forces contained, energy dispersed with care, motion structured by the quiet hand of gravity. You sense a harmony that transcends the apparent contrast of calm and intensity. You notice how the light from the inner disk spreads unevenly, bending along the curves of space. Photons emitted on one side seem to shimmer differently from those on the other, their paths warped by the invisible depths of gravity. You feel this bending as a soft ripple in your awareness, a gentle reminder that the cosmos is more fluid than your mind usually imagines. Even at immense scales and energies, there is a quiet poetry guiding motion, an invisible choreography that shapes matter and light alike. The temperature of the accretion disk rises as matter spirals closer, reaching millions of degrees. You sense the energy radiating outward, yet it is not overwhelming. Instead, it is gentle, a vibration that resonates softly with your awareness. This heat is a marker of motion, a signal of the black hole's appetite, but also a rhythm that has persisted for epochs. You imagine the countless particles spiraling inward, colliding, heating, and radiating, each following the laws of physics with patient obedience. There is a meditative quality here, a reminder that even in what seems violent, order and elegance persist. You consider the nature of the X-rays. They travel vast distances, reaching telescopes billions of light-years away, carrying data about the black hole's behavior, its feeding patterns, and its immense mass. You feel a connection across space and time, as if the universe is whispering to you through these energetic photons. Each beam is a gentle message, a story told softly, asking you to listen carefully, to notice the subtleties of motion and energy that reveal the hidden life of the galaxy. You drift toward the outer edge of the luminous disk, where temperatures cool and matter begins to settle into slower orbits. The heat diminishes, but the calm persists. Here, gravity still reigns, but the violence of energy has softened into a gentle pulse, a rhythmic breath that flows across the galaxy's inner halo. You sense the contrast between extremes, the delicate balance that allows the black hole to grow without tearing the galaxy apart. Even in the most energetic regions, there is patience, structure, and quietude woven into the very fabric of motion. Magnetic fields thread through the accretion disk, invisible yet shaping motion. They guide charged particles, influence the heating of matter, and create patterns in the flow that are invisible to your eyes but palpable in your mind. You imagine them as gentle ribbons, twisting and looping, guiding the dance of matter with subtle insistence. You feel the elegance of these invisible hands, orchestrating the motion of particles with quiet persistence. Even where energy blazes, order prevails. You notice that the radiation does not escape evenly. Some matter is expelled along paths of least resistance, forming faint structures that trace arcs far from the disk. Others spiral inward relentlessly, feeding the black hole patiently. You sense the coexistence of divergence and convergence, motion outward and motion inward, energy radiated and matter absorbed. The universe here feels deeply balanced, a meditative interplay of forces that spans both vastness and intimacy. Your awareness expands as you drift further from the central disk. The X-rays fade into faint light, the jets narrow and distant, and the galaxy's quiet mass asserts itself. You feel the pulse of the black hole, not as violence but as a slow, steady heartbeat that has persisted for billions of years. Its influence stretches across the galaxy, a patient sculptor shaping paths, guiding stars, and quietly accumulating matter. You notice that even in apparent calm, there is immense power, a presence that defines the structure of the universe itself. You reflect on the duality you perceive here, extreme energy and deep calm existing side by side. The black hole consumes, radiates, and shapes, yet it does so with a rhythm that is meditative rather than chaotic. You sense that the galaxy and its central monster are partners in a cosmic balance, each influencing the other over timescales too vast to fully grasp. The light and heat are not simply byproducts. They are signs of ongoing life, ongoing motion, ongoing harmony within the system. You imagine the lifetime of this process. How long can the black hole maintain this rhythm of feeding and radiating, absorbing and sculpting? You sense that billions of years have already passed, and yet the dance continues. The universe itself seems to breathe along with these processes, each rotation of matter, each emission of light, a soft pulse in the cosmos's gentle rhythm. You feel connected to the immense patience required for such growth, the quiet persistence of forces that operate far beyond human scale. And as you drift through the gentle glow, observing the interplay of heat, light, and gravity, You sense a deeper quiet beyond the luminous disk. Here, energy diminishes, leaving behind the pure presence of the black hole, the central anchor around which the galaxy's motions revolve. You feel the contrast between the energetic brilliance of the inner regions and the silent, patient gravity that extends outward, a calm core beneath all motion. The galaxy exhales, and you drift in sync with its rhythm, enveloped by the harmony of extremes and the serenity of space. You drift through the luminous spirals of IC 1101, tracing the arcs of stars and clouds of gas as they follow paths shaped by gravity's gentle insistence. At the heart of this immense galaxy lies the black hole, a presence so vast it seems both separate and inseparable from the galaxy itself. You sense a relationship, a quiet partnership that has persisted for billions of years. The black hole and the galaxy are intertwined, their motions, energies, and histories co-evolving in a rhythm that stretches far beyond ordinary perception. Stars form in distant clouds of gas, colliding gently, compressing under gravity until nuclear fires ignite within them. You watch these newborn stars glow, casting soft light into the surrounding darkness. Each star seems small against the scale of the galaxy, yet collectively they shape the flows of matter that eventually feed the central black hole. You sense the quiet feedback between formation and consumption, between light and darkness, as a cycle that sustains the galaxy's structure. Older stars, having exhausted their fuel, evolve into red giants, white dwarfs, neutron stars, or even smaller black holes. Their remnants drift gently through the galactic halo, tracing paths shaped by gravity and magnetic fields. You notice how these stellar corpses contribute to the ongoing story of IC 1101, offering material for future star formation or eventually falling into the central monster. Destruction here is not loss. It is transformation, a soft contribution to the galaxy's persistent life. You feel the quiet poetry of recycling on a cosmic scale. Gas clouds swirl in gentle eddies, sometimes disturbed by the subtle push of radiation or the passage of a distant star cluster. You float among these streams, sensing the slow, patient influence of the black hole at the center. Even without consuming every particle, it shapes their motion, nudging clouds along paths that determine the galaxy's long-term evolution. You realize that influence does not require direct action. Sometimes presence alone is enough. The galaxy and its monster move together, a partnership of motion, energy, and time. Feedback mechanisms are subtle yet profound. Jets of energy from the black hole push outward, preventing some clouds from collapsing too quickly, regulating star formation in ways that maintain the galaxy's equilibrium. You feel the rhythm of this regulation as a calm heartbeat, invisible but persistent, maintaining a balance between creation and suppression. The galaxy is alive in its own way, its structure evolving under both internal dynamics and the patient guidance of the central mass. You sense the elegance of these interactions, unfolding with quiet certainty over epochs of time. You drift through regions where star formation is slow, where clouds have thinned and remnants dominate. Here, the galaxy seems more reflective, its motion measured, graceful, and deliberate. You notice the imprint of the black hole's presence in subtle curves of stellar orbits, in the distribution of matter across the core and halo. Its influence is indirect yet pervasive, guiding the evolution of stars and gas without overt violence. You sense the quiet dialogue between creation and regulation, a conversation carried out in motion rather than words. The black hole itself grows slowly, absorbing matter and merging with smaller companions, yet it is not an isolated force. Its growth depends on the galaxy, just as the galaxy's structure is shaped by its gravity. You feel this interdependence as a gentle weaving of cause and effect, a dance where neither partner dominates completely. The galaxy feeds the monster sculpts the galaxy, and both evolve together in a rhythm that transcends human comprehension. You sense the elegance of mutual shaping, the subtle artistry of coevolution. You imagine billions of years passing in soft waves, each epoch leaving traces in stellar orbits, gas flows, and remnants. You notice patterns emerging, spiral arms gently winding, halos of faint stars stretching outward, arcs of light marking paths shaped by the gravitational pull of the central mass. You feel the galaxy breathing, exhaling slowly through star formation, accretion, and feedback. Each motion is purposeful, patient, and profound, as if the galaxy itself is aware of its partnership with the black hole at its core. Clusters of stars drift along arcs that eventually intersect the paths of older stellar remnants. Some material is captured by the black hole, spiraling inward in luminous arcs of radiation. You sense the flow as a gentle tide, ebbing and rising over vast distances and timescales. This quiet consumption is not violent. It is patient, deliberate, and harmonious with the galaxy's overall rhythm. You feel the black hole not as a threat, but as a participant in a long, ongoing narrative of growth, regulation, and balance. Magnetic fields thread through the galaxy like invisible ribbons, shaping motion, guiding charged particles, and influencing the flow of matter toward the center. You imagine these fields as subtle hands, gentle but insistent, nudging clouds, influencing star formation, and ensuring the continuity of motion. You sense the presence of invisible structures, not rigid, but soft and adaptable, allowing the galaxy and its black hole to interact in ways that preserve harmony across immense scales. You notice the interplay of extremes: energy and calm, creation and absorption, light and dark. The galaxy forms stars, radiates light, and moves gracefully, while the black hole consumes, regulates, and grows silently. You feel the balance between these forces, a gentle tension that sustains the system over billions of years. Here, destruction is part of creation, energy is part of calm, and presence is part of motion. You sense that the cosmic dance is not linear but cyclical, a loop of influence and response that endures across time. You drift farther from the center, observing the galaxy's outer reaches. Older stars orbit in gentle, elongated paths, their motions shaped subtly by the unseen hand at the core. Gas clouds move in slow eddies, occasionally disturbed by distant interactions, yet always returning to equilibrium. You feel the galaxy as a living system, its rhythm defined not only by its luminous stars, but by the quiet, pervasive influence of the central black hole. You sense the delicate interdependence that defines this vast structure, a relationship both patient and profound. The question emerges softly in your mind: does the galaxy shape the monster, or does the monster shape the galaxy? You realize the answer is both. The black hole cannot grow without the galaxy's matter and structure, and the galaxy's evolution is guided by the gravity and feedback of the central mass. It is a partnership, a dialogue conducted through motion, energy, and time, unfolding over billions of years with patience and elegance. You sense the depth of this coevolution, a subtle harmony that has persisted since the galaxy's earliest days. And as you drift through the luminous spirals, feeling the push and pull of creation and absorption, you sense a quiet reverence for the ongoing cosmic dance. Stars form and die, gas flows and spirals, energy radiates and disperses, yet everything remains connected. The black hole and the galaxy are not separate. They are a single, intertwined presence, co-evolving in a rhythm that is both gentle and immense. You feel a soft awe, a sense of intimacy with forces that operate on scales far beyond ordinary perception, yet are present in every particle, every arc, every gentle motion. You drift far forward in time, letting billions upon trillions of years pass like soft breaths. The stars that once gleamed in IC 1101's arms have begun to fade, their nuclear fires dwindling to quiet embers. The galaxy feels older now, slower, as if it itself has grown reflective, sensing the quiet inevitability of change. Star formation, once lively and abundant, diminishes gradually, leaving clouds of gas thin and sparse. You feel the passage of time like the gentle flow of a river that has stretched beyond sight, moving silently and inexorably toward something vast and inevitable. White dwarfs, neutron stars, and the faint remnants of once luminous giants drift lazily through the galaxy's halo. Their light is soft, ghostly, fading into the darkness of space. You notice the gentle pattern of stellar evolution played out on unimaginable scales, each life a quiet contribution to the galaxy's slow transformation. Even as individual stars die, the galaxy itself persists, a vast, coherent structure quietly witnessing the passage of cosmic eras. You sense the patience required for such longevity, a quiet endurance that mirrors the vast, slow heartbeat of the universe. The black hole at the center has grown immense over these ages, absorbing the remnants of stars and gas clouds that drift too close. Yet even in its unhurried expansion, it does not dominate in chaos. Its presence is steady, calm, patient, a colossus that has endured when everything else has faded. You feel the paradox of its existence. Vast, consuming, and yet silent, like a mountain in the middle of a drifting sea. The black hole is a keeper of history, a quiet record of the galaxy's evolution, storing mass and memory alike in its dense, hidden interior. Gas flows, once vibrant and turbulent, have slowed to a soft trickle, feeding the black hole at a patient, almost imperceptible pace. Occasionally, a lone cloud drifts inward, giving a faint, final shimmer of X-rays as it completes its journey. You sense the rhythm of this feeding, slow and deliberate, a quiet persistence that has endured across time. Even as the galaxy dims, the black hole remains a central presence, quietly shaping motion and structure in ways invisible but profound. Its growth has slowed, but its existence continues, patient and unhurried, a testament to cosmic endurance. You drift further into the galaxy's arms, noticing the sparse light of older stars. The arms themselves are fragile now, their spiral patterns faded and soft, like whispers in the dark. The galaxy is no longer vibrant, but it is dignified, carrying the memory of billions of years of motion, birth, and death. You sense the elegance in this fading, the quiet poetry of cosmic aging. Each star, each remnant, each trajectory carries the imprint of the black hole's presence, a reminder that even in decline, order and structure remain. Entropy stretches across the galaxy like a soft, invisible tide. Gas clouds disperse slowly, collisions are rare, and the light of stars diminishes into the faintest glimmers. You feel the universe itself exhaling, a slow release of energy into an expanding, cooling cosmos. The black hole is unaffected by time's diluting effects. It remains, immense and patient, a silent anchor in a universe growing older, quieter, and colder. You sense a profound calm here, a deep reflection that everything evolves and fades, yet some presences endure beyond ordinary measures of time. Occasionally, you notice faint radiation from the accretion of rare material, tiny clouds, scattered remnants of gas, or the occasional white dwarf wandering too close. Each event is quiet, almost imperceptible in the vast scale of the galaxy, yet it adds subtly to the black hole's ongoing presence. You feel the delicate balance between activity and stillness, the gentle rhythm of a system that has evolved over eons. The universe has slowed, yet the black hole continues its slow, patient accumulation, a presence that seems eternal in comparison to the fading stars surrounding it. You imagine the future of star formation dwindling further. Clouds are too sparse, collisions too rare, and the galaxy's energy output falls toward near silence. The once vibrant arms now resemble faint ghostly arcs, carrying remnants of a long-lived, enduring dance. You sense the galaxy's quiet resignation, a meditative patience that mirrors your own awareness. It exists not in brilliance, but in endurance, its structure a memory of its own history, shaped by the black hole's gravitational hand and by the slow, patient rhythms of cosmic evolution. The black hole, immense and quiet, dominates the galaxy not through force but through presence. You notice the way its gravity shapes the faint paths of distant remnants, guiding motion with invisible authority. Even as activity fades, it remains a sculptor of trajectories, a patient observer, and a silent accumulator of mass. You feel the scale of time as a gentle wave passing through your awareness, the slow ebb of light and matter giving way to the unhurried persistence of this colossal presence. It is immense, patient, and enduring, a calm center in a quiet, fading galaxy. You reflect on the passage of trillions of years, imagining a universe where even galaxies like IC 1101 have softened into faint, quiet collections of remnants. Stars flicker and fade, gas clouds thin into near invisibility, and light itself stretches across the vast emptiness. And yet, in the heart of the galaxy, the black hole remains, a calm, patient force. Its presence is not violent but enduring, a monument to the long, unhurried processes that govern cosmic evolution. You sense the quiet majesty of longevity on scales beyond ordinary human understanding, a patient rhythm that stretches across time itself. Even as the universe continues to expand and cool, the black hole stands, a silent witness to entropy's slow progression. Its presence is a meditation on persistence, an anchor in a cosmos that has grown quiet and dim. You feel the paradox of the immense and the calm, the violent and the patient, coexisting in a balance that stretches across trillions of years. The galaxy and its black hole have endured together, a partnership of motion, growth, and patience, even as light dims and energy disperses. And as you drift through this future galaxy, imagining the soft glow of fading stars and the enduring presence of the black hole, you feel the gentle weight of time stretching across the cosmos. Entropy moves slowly, inevitably, like a cooling breath across the universe. Yet the black hole remains a calm presence, immense, patient, and unhurried. You sense the quiet rhythm of existence, a meditation on endurance and transformation, and feel the universe exhaling softly in the presence of such persistent magnitude. You float slowly, drifting back through the quiet galaxy you have explored for eons in your mind. IC 1101 seems softer now, more reflective, its vast spirals stretching into gentle arcs of fading light. You feel the immense scale of what you have witnessed, the birth and death of stars, the patient, quiet accumulation of matter, the central black hole that has endured beyond time itself. There is a profound calm in this knowledge, a gentle weight you can carry without strain, a quiet presence that rests lightly in your chest. The black hole lies at the heart of the galaxy, silent, patient, immense. You sense its presence more as a feeling than as an object, a rhythm in space, a gentle pull in your awareness. Its gravity is not threatening, but enveloping, a calm force that shapes motion, structure, and time itself. You notice how it has grown, not through violence, but through patience. Billions of years of subtle influence, slow absorption, quiet guidance. It is a creature of endurance, a monument to the persistent flow of the universe. You consider the concept of a secret that sleeps. The black hole holds so much, the remnants of stars, the echoes of gas clouds, the light of dying suns. But none of it is accessible in ordinary ways. Its depths are unknowable, yet you feel them, sense them in the gentle pull it exerts, the way it shapes the motions around it, the way it bends light and time. Some mysteries do not demand solutions. They exist simply to be felt, experienced, imagined. You hold this secret softly, letting its quiet weight settle in your awareness. Around the black hole, the galaxy drifts. Stars that once shone brightly now flicker gently, tracing paths shaped by gravity and history. You feel the echoes of their lives, the quiet memories embedded in motion and matter. Every orbit, every spiral, every faint glow is part of a tapestry woven over trillions of years. You sense the interconnection. The black hole and the galaxy are partners in an eternal, gentle dance. Each has shaped the other, and yet each remains distinct, a separate presence in the calm expanse of space. The light from the few remaining stars reaches you slowly, stretching across the vast emptiness. You notice how dim it is, yet how full of information, full of story. Each photon carries the memory of its origin, a soft whisper of what once was. You let these whispers fill your mind, each one a tiny thread connecting you to the galaxy's immense history. The darkness between the stars is not empty. It is full of patient potential, of quiet knowledge, of unspoken secrets that stretch beyond perception. You sense the black hole as more than a gravitational force. It is a keeper of time, a container of histories, a silent witness to processes that exceed imagination. You imagine what it has seen. The birth of the galaxy, the formation of stars, the gentle decay of matter, the slow accumulation of mass over billions of years. Its silence is not absence. It is presence, a calm awareness that endures when all else fades. You feel it as a rhythm, a quiet pulse, the longest, slowest heartbeat of IC 1101. You drift through the fading arms of the galaxy, noticing how each remnant of motion and energy contributes to the overall harmony. There is no chaos here, only the patient unfolding of processes governed by immutable laws. Gravity, time, energy, and matter have interacted in patterns that persist even as light fades and star formation ceases. You sense that the galaxy itself is aware in its own way, not conscious, but structured, ordered, and sustained by the same rhythms that govern the black hole at its heart. The question arises softly. What is the black hole's secret? Perhaps it is the scale of time it has endured, the quiet patience it has maintained, the way it shapes its surroundings without effort or attention. Or perhaps the secret is the paradox itself. Immense power and absolute calm, consumption and endurance, presence and invisibility. You feel this paradox in your mind as a gentle tension, a space for reflection, a quiet invitation to imagine what lies beyond perception. The secret is not meant to be solved. It is meant to cradle your awareness, to remind you of the universe's vastness and subtlety. You consider your own place in this vast expanse. You are small, fleeting, yet aware, able to perceive the rhythms of a galaxy and its black hole. This awareness is itself part of the cosmic story, a connection between consciousness and the patient processes of the universe. You feel your mind expand and contract gently with the scale of what you perceive, like inhaling and exhaling alongside the galaxy itself. Even as the universe grows older, your awareness remains a soft thread, linking observer to observed, curiosity to silence. You notice the faintest glimmers of light, the occasional stray photon tracing a curved path near the black hole. Each one carries a story, a tiny echo of motion and energy from billions of years ago. You feel these stories as a gentle vibration in your awareness, an intimate connection to processes beyond your ordinary perception. The black hole has swallowed countless photons, but it has also released many subtle signals of its ongoing presence. Its secret is encoded in the patterns of light, motion, and time, waiting for patient minds to sense without needing to unravel completely. Even the dark space beyond the galaxy's arms feels alive. You sense the gravity of the black hole extending outward, shaping trajectories, subtly guiding motion, influencing the very structure of space itself. The secret sleeps there too, in the interplay between what is seen and unseen, known and unknowable. You float in this quiet balance, feeling the paradoxical comfort of mystery, the way it fills perception without overwhelming it, the way it invites reflection rather than demand. You let yourself rest in the presence of this vast calm. Time seems to stretch, folding gently, carrying you through the story of IC 1101 and its black hole. You feel the patient accumulation of matter, the quiet cycles of star formation and decay, the rhythmic flow of energy and light. Everything is connected, yet nothing is rushed. You sense the enduring harmony of forces that operate far beyond ordinary understanding, yet are perceptible through quiet attention and reflective presence. And in this final meditation, you realize that some secrets do not need to be understood fully. The black hole at IC 1101's heart is immense, patient, and enduring, but it is also unknowable in many ways. You hold its secret gently, feeling it as a calm presence, a rhythm in space and time, a reminder that not everything in the universe requires solving. Some mysteries exist to be felt, to be experienced, to cradle your mind in their gentle vastness. You notice the soft glow of distant remnants, the faint trails of matter that still trace slow arcs through the galaxy. You feel the presence of the black hole as an enduring heartbeat, the silent rhythm that has persisted for billions of years. The universe hums in a subtle lullaby, each motion, each light, each particle contributing to a gentle chorus that stretches across space and time. You sense that even in silence and darkness, there is profound life, movement, and memory. And as you drift, holding the secret of IC 1101's heart softly in your awareness, a final thought settles. Some mysteries do not need solving. Their presence alone is enough to inspire wonder, reflection, and a quiet, meditative calm. The black hole sleeps, and in its silence, the universe hums its oldest lullaby. You let this feeling wash over you, gentle and rhythmic, carrying you toward rest.